So these are the two vises that we're going to restore. More or less a bit of clean up and a bit of oil and a bit of grease. And they're both mechanisms are identical. So we'll get out the big one and get it sorted. You can see here where somebody has had this one off before, or else maybe the bolt just was lost out of it and they had to replace it with a little cup head or a little countersink screw. So we put that back in because that adds to the character of the voice. These are a metric set, and that is definitely an imperial bolt. So you just need to make sure that nothing flies. So it might be no harm to hold this just so we get this off. And like that. So I'll get that off as well. Just need to be careful that the spring doesn't fly out. The spring is connected around a dog here at the bottom. So now keep all the bits together. Get that loosened up. Yeah, that is fine. Very important we don't lose any bits. But from here on in they're fairly big, so we're hardly going to lose the jaws. Two bits of plywood. So little dust cap for the main screw. There's a little island hole there, but I think we'll clean it up and put a little bit of grease on it. Now, you can pick up the little spring in there, but we're not going to mess with that. You can just see where it was. So I'm not going to take the sliding rods out of the main house. That's as far as I'm going to break it down, and we just clean it up from here, get it back together. I'm tempted to paint it, but the old paint is its character, so we won't go that far. Just give it a bit of sanding before we put any oil or grease on it. Got a bit of hardship from a hammer or something. Rocking around the bench. That's 100 grit sandpaper, and this is 400 grit. You don't want to go too coarse because you don't want to leave any tracks on these together, dirt, dust, or anything that might hinder the smooth running. So there we go now. That's the main sliders and jaw, front jaw, cleaned up. Turned out fairly well. I don't think there's any need to take these out. They're not damaged. They came up, I think, really as good as I'm going to get them. They're smooth. Good run with 400 grit sandpaper. Smoothing them off. And I don't think we're going to. I think it's good enough. You know, you look at it and you'll be so tempted to go painting and do whatever, but I think the character of the old paint will be lost if you go start painting it. So that's front voice done, and we're dropping bits off it already. Just need to be very careful not to lose bits. And actually, we'll just stick that screw back in there, just so we can't lose the spring. Now, as you can see, the size of the workshop, I'm hardly going to lose this much, but put you down there as you don't fall any further on the ground. Yeah. The voice is in such good condition. This is a bit dustier, so I'm actually going to put on a mask. The last thing you want to be doing now is breathing in rusty dust. Looks like the top edge of the voices might have got a little bit of a going over. Possibly used for a bit of heavy hammer. I don't like sharp edges on any of my tools, unless they're supposed to be on it. Voice is in great condition. one way to clean them out. Now, that is fairly good. So, a few casting. Bumps and lumps. But not major. Hidden. Same with these two outside holes. This hole, the screw actually never touches it. These outside holes, the slides, go through them tight, so you don't want to be putting any heavy grit sandpaper in there to score them. You need to keep the surfaces as close to the original machining as possible. Yeah. Inside vise. So that's the spring lever bar for lifting the nut. And come up fairly well. You can see where the nut was running along that. So that's that. Sit you over there. And this is the screw cover. You can actually see where it says oil. Hopefully you can see it. And screw and nut cover. Feels like it's been run against the screw. So we'll check that when we're putting it back together. That came up well as well. I don't know how old the vises are, but they've got some in the work. So here, this is the nut that rises up and down to catch the screw. And this is the cap for it. So that goes on like so, and then that catches that like that. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Ah, there you go. So that rises. That's, and the spring in the vise just plonks it back down. Now, so these guys, years and years of oil and sawdust build up. So, I mean, the casting is as good as the day it was cast. think that's good as it needs to be. It's all back to the steel. There's no ride, is there? No dust running left, so I think that's perfect. There it is. Yep. Just a little cap, so it's just these are in out of the way, hidden in a little underneath the vise, so there's very little rust. Because they would be getting oil and splash with a sip of oil from the movement. Like a 65. I think that's perfect. Yeah. This is just a little cap plate that goes on the end of the two runners. Again, it's hidden away. Not abused by the elements, so wouldn't we be lost without a bit of an old rag? Yeah. This is probably one of the more important parts of the voice. So I would really suggest that you don't put any heavy gritting, go mad trying to clean these out. You don't need to knock any edges off. Screws in perfectly. It's just a light rub. It's not that it would wear or that you would do any damage with the paper, But because it is steel, it's just better to be safe than sorry and not get carried away rubbing a particular spot that you might see something that shouldn't be there. And that's when you'd end up wearing the top off a thread or flattening down a thread. Or the last thing you want to do is to ruin the screw which makes the vise work, especially when it's in perfect nick. I mean, the teeth are sharp. Yeah, this guy's going to need a bit of work, alright. Cleaning him up. Now, you know what we do? Put this lot in. I'll actually lift this guy up and we're actually finished. So everything should just slip back on relatively easy. If you're going to have to thump things, you might as well to check it. Nut. There is a little lip there that this guy has to sit in over. You see it there? He can't sit here, he has to be in under that. So best way is to get him in there. I marked the upside down. I think I'll just go. Right, so that's why you need to mark where it comes out. Get this in its, and watch the fingers, and Bob's your uncle. And perfect. So just mark the nut. You're not going to get a spanner in there. I thought this might work, but no. So let's throw a little bit of oil on the screw. I was going to use a bit of grease, but I decided grease might be a bit dodgy for gathering up. So, some of light oil. Give her a clear. The vise is extremely heavy. So, there was a little bang in it before. It's just working perfect now. So don't forget to nip up the guard screw. And so now guys, that is a 9-inch number 52.5 E. And you can see the number in there. Cleaned up. And back working the way it should work. So that's the number 7 done. I didn't go through the whole process on that one for you guys. It's fairly repetitive to the big one. So there was an awful lot more rust and pitting on the slides, so we just had to do a bit of extra. Took a bit longer, but got it in the end. So, and it's working perfect. So that's it. It's nice to be able to you know, service and do your own tools. I mean, the vises are, they're an extension of your arm really when you're on your bench, when you're woodworking. It's just, there is ways around it, but they're so handy to have. So handy to have. So that's it. That's the restoration, service, clean up of the 9-inch, 7-inch, 52 and a half. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and the next is the installation of them onto the bench. So why not hit the subscribe button and come back for that, and that'll be the final chapter in the bench build, and we can move on from there and get some projects started and finished and get a bit of woodworking done, which will be most enjoyable. So yeah, come back and have a look at the installation of these, and I hope you enjoyed that. I hope there was a bit of information there you got from it. Might help you do your own vises. Vises don't really need to be serviced, but you know, keep a bit of oil on them and a bit of an oily rag when they're on the bench, or when let it out to the full. You know, it's just a matter of running an oily rag on the slides. And there is a little hole there for the oil for the screw, and that's really it. They're a simple mechanism, simple but effective. So yeah, again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and give us a thumbs up if it was any good, any help to you. Right, take it easy. Mind yourselves out there.